Welcome, 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 everyone, to another members show. We are going to be talking a variety of things today. What I want to do is talk about this election that we have just had. Trump versus Hillary. Why am I talking about the election? For the last 18 months, we have been having the highest levels of propaganda blasted at us in every frequency, in every dimension, to the point that it has overloaded people and created a form of spiritual sickness. This spiritual sickness culminated into an election event that was designed to harvest energy from people. High density, high frequency, negative energy that was a part of the sacred geometry harvesting system. This last election, the sacred geometry harvesting system fell apart. The dark rituals failed, and a variety of other things that were meant to mass harvest energy simply didn't function the way they wanted to. Now, this is very important for people to understand. For the last 4 years, everyone has had their energy harvested from them, even those outside of the United States. If you are in the United States, you are just as affected. If you are outside of the United States, you are just affected. Years, there is a massive drain of energy over the whole world. I want you to understand something. When London, the capital city of Whitehall, United States, capital city of Washington, D.C., Rome, capital of its own country, Rome, each one of them has an original obelisk from Egypt that signifies the esoteric power. Those objects no longer are functioning normally. So you have a lot more available energy to you, a lot more. But you must be aware it is not your energy alone. All of this energy that was supposed to be harvested is still floating in these sacred geometry systems as they're trying to fix the harvesting systems. So you may have Joe's voting energy from over there or Jane's voting energy from Florida with a part of your energy. It's important at these times that you begin some form of governmental contract, voting-based contract, energy harvest-based contract removals. In a short time, we're going to be having our winter solstice here in the United States. We're going to be opposite. It's vitally important that around Thanksgiving, around the 1st of December, you take 1 or 2 days outside of your week to put an hour into contract revocation, to prepare you for the solstice that's coming up, to prepare you for all of this excess energy that is everywhere moving around. Separate your energy from others' energy. Give instructions to your sacred space. Give instructions to your boundaries so the greater you can unfold. Now, dealing with the election, both Trump and Hillary are personal figureheads that have spiritual contracts of awareness. That actually voted or ever watched a single video on them or watched a news clip on them, you have actually been spiritually contracted to observe them. Take your energy away. They are the representations of the hierarchical order that is defining your reality. Figureheads that you want to break contracts, vows, and agreements with. Return your energies back to sacred neutral. Take time, effort, and energy to construct your own governmental contract process that targets the figureheads of both the Democratic and Republican sides. Country, choose your prime minister, choose the cabinet members. There's an obvious group of top runners that you don't want to exchange energy with in a spiritual format. It's time you stood in your power, reclaimed your power, and said, I do not consent at a spiritual exchange of energy, and I break contracts, vows, and agreements, realign myself to sovereign neutral, auditing myself and all energy that's being exchanged with me. The election had, how do I put it, an explosions of emotions. So for the audience that is outside of the United States, you have a different view of how the United States voted. In the United States, it has been a disaster emotionally. the propaganda news reported Clinton was going to win by a landslide. And she won the popular vote, but lost the Electoral College. There are young women who are expecting to have the first female president of the free world. There were people expecting the bankers to go to jail. And what we got was something completely different. There is an explosion of emotions, an explosion of depressions out there that are healers, that are talkers, that are information sharers, that are sacred listeners here. You're going to see a lot of people crash and burn in a really despicable way because of the nature of the energy harvesting, the failures of the energy harvesting. They have all this excess hope energy in them. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to transform it. 30, 40 days, if you want to reach out to some of these people, reach out in a friendly way. Reach out in a way that understands that there is an explosion of emotions within them. It's not to lead them to new material, but to open them to new concepts, such as the contract revocations, such as doing ceremony to clear your field, or saging their house, so that you can assist them at beginning to remove some of the dense energies that they are projecting upon themselves, as projecting back at them. I once again use the example of many of the young women throughout the United States who bought into the concept that be the first female president and be a champion for women's rights. We need that in our society. We really do. That failed. Whatever you believe about the Clintons, good or bad, doesn't matter. There is a placebo explosion going on. And I say placebo because their belief has empowered such a greatness in their own dreams. The first woman president, that dream is shattered and broken. So I want you as audience members to go, what can I do to help on an individual basis? Who do I know that wanted to be a voter and did go vote and is obviously emotionally disturbed with this afterward? The introduction of basic clearing ceremonies, the silver, salt, and sage. Bring some offerings. And the next process is ancestral relations. If some of the people you talk to over the next couple weeks are interested in ancestral remedy and resolve, or you can hold a simple ceremony that calls in the ancestors, that asks them to bring remedy and resolve, judgment. There are a variety of resources on the website that are easily shareable and available. If you are intending to help someone go through their next process, be gentle with them, be open with them. Don't try to overwhelm them. They are so fragile right now, it is like walking on eggshells everywhere you go. Self-healing and self-nurturing are the words that you can tell them. Self-empowerment and self-motivation. Get out there and march. For years, you have been hearing me say, nothing is going to happen tomorrow until you make it happen. Until you see people out in the same scale and size as the 1960s and 70s, worldwide, nothing is happening. There is no ascension. There is no awakening. It will continue and continue and continue in these 4-year cycles of nothing happening while a world government rules us, creates for us. Individual sovereign beings stand in the seat of their heart and say, no, there is no more time for doing nothing. Action. Okay? So explosions of emotions. Explosions at such a level on the spiritual side. The day of the election, I spent a good amount of hours doing ceremony and preparing for what was going to come down from that. Because either way, if Trump won or Clinton won, it was going to be explosion on one side or the other. It was going to be the angry Americans versus all of the progressives who wanted to see a better world and change for whatever that was propaganda promoting at that time. Got pulled out from under both of them. In such a way, you have a group of Trump supporters who are now doing very aggressive processes because that is what was propaganda purported to them. Aggressiveness, aggressiveness. Those people, many of the Trump supporters who are in that aggressive action, I'm not anti-Trump or anti-Hillary. I did not vote And I will not ever vote in the United States or any other electoral system that is based upon corporate governments of energy harvesting that defines us as chattel. C-H-A-T-T-L-E. It is terminology kings and queens use about their serfs and their people underneath them. And you are actually defined as chattel in our United States Constitution and Commerce Clause. So I didn't vote. I will never vote because the system is corrupt, rigged, and a dark magic system designed to harvest your energy. I did say that it failed, a massive failure of the dark magic system. Why? Because so few people showed up to vote with full energy. And a base system backfired on them. Backfired in such a way that the rituals they tried to do from Super Bowl to election and all that stuff was designed to expect Hillary to win and harvest the other side. But that didn't happen. I've also said no single president has been elected since Eisenhower. This includes this election. Trump was selected to win because of the years previous dark rituals that were done in the death of the Chief Justice Anthony Scalia. He could not oversee the swearing in of the Clintons or any other expression within that esoteric organization. So a new esoteric organization is being created, a negative one, that is going to try to recapture people's energy when Trump takes office. It doesn't matter if Trump is a good guy or a bad guy. The president is just a figurehead that holds spiritual contracts for the controllers of this world who live deep under the ground or deep in the upper astral atmospheres. They don't really physically manifest here. They just run us through middle management. And Trump and Hillary and everyone else on the surface is just middle management. And if you see them as middle management, you can take their power away and return it to yourself as a self-governing, self-illuminated master of the now. Over the last years, I have described this election cycle from 2014 to 2016, going into 2017, as a massive Three Stooges type event. You know, you've got the eye poke and the poke in the forehead. That is what Trump versus Hillary was. And that Three Stooges event is going to get more intense as more people are put into the cabinet process and the liberal media and mainstream media propaganda-based systems begin freaking out because they don't have a year-long prepared script. So for all those people who have been waiting for the news media to fail, the next 3, 4, 5 months, you are going to see spectacular failures in the media. People quitting live on air, truth being told, being edited out. So those truth warriors out there, be prepared with your DVR. Be prepared to record some of these things and save them before they're erased from the internet. How do you let go of the election process? Now, as a members-based show, the election, as I said, is an energy harvesting process that failed. But all your other elections, whether any country you're in, are also energy harvesting systems. Begin to design your own special contract revocation for the country you live in. Example here. I, in the ever-present moment, choose to acknowledge a fake electoral process. A process which is designed to harvest my energy, a process that is meant to represent me in government, but does not actually represent me. I now break all contracts, vows, and agreements with every congressman, every senator, every ambassador, and every other figurehead of the government that uses any form of sacred geometry, linguistics, or naming process. I break contracts, vows, and agreements with the electoral system, the electoral processes, and every other electoral voter who's trying to entangle me through the process of telling me to go and vote. That is a little 3-paragraph one that is simply can be used during the next 40, 45, 50 days as Trump begins to take office. It's vitally important that you make your own. Use the government contract revocation on the website as a basis, as an outline for you to write. Vital, how do I put this? We're about to get the shell game. The shell game. You know, P is under what shell? The date of Trump taking in is where the shell gets lifted up and everybody thinks it's the right one, but it's actually the left one because the person had it in their hand through sleight of hand. When the shell is revealed where the new P is, that is the new set of dark rituals that are totally separate of the last 3 years, because the last 3 years were designed to affect this election right now. So all those old Super Bowls, all those old Olympic ones, all of that was designed to affect Clinton taking office on the 19th of January. The oligarchs, the controllers, the puppeteers changed it and selected something different at the end. And all of these rituals now have to be redone. You need to be very advanced in your discipline of saying, I am more than ready for whatever game they're going to try to play. I'm going to have a sovereign boundary that is so powerful and strong that nothing can come and take and exchange energy with me. That is karma-based negativity from the system. Okay? That is the process. The next is we have a solstice coming up, 21st to 23rd of December. I have done quite a few videos on the solstice. What I want to talk about this solstice is the setup for the dark ritual that comes on the 19th of January for the new president coming in office. So the beginning of December, all of you that are practitioners out there, step up, say no, step up and begin recalling your year's worth of story. Try to tell your story to the fire ahead of the solstice so that you've had some practice. So the day of the solstice, you know, it doesn't matter if it's indoor, outdoor, whatever, just do it with it in such a way that the days that the solstice come, you are empowered. You are empowered in such a way so when the shell day comes, you can tell where the P is under what shell. And it isn't going to be a sleight of hand gag on you. The day of the solstice. Now, I've thought very long and hard to talk about this. So I will say on this members show, there will be contact from out of this world on that date. Public worldwide, probably not. But those that are prepared will have contact. What mean? First contact in your brain, in your heart, as they reach out in dreams. There will be those that are physically manifest that may see ships in the sky. What are they doing? They are preparing us for a different form of reality. It teaches us as a non-duality, non-hierarchical being who is currently in duality, in hierarchy, as a system is about to reshuffle itself, redo its little dark magic ritual spells so that some other external system, off-world, can't truly predict what it's trying to harvest from our world. The 21st to the 23rd on the solstice, the ships are going to be appearing around the womb chakras. Why? Because they are going to be tapping into the energy of the earth and redirecting it back into the ley line system. Kind of like using a roto-rooter or a snake going down a toilet that's been clogged. It snakes its way all the way down there and it finds the energy clog deep inside the womb chakra and poof, energy is going to start flying out of it. My advice, if you are around womb chakras during the 21st to the 23rd, be very careful. You may get a big burst of energy that comes from deep under the ground that is very ancient. And it could have positive or negative side effects. It depends on your level of awareness, the type of clearings you personally do with yourself, and the types of expressions you are going through as a spiritual being as that energy is erupting from deep underground. Now, as I said, there will be contact. Will it be for everyone? No. It's for those self-illuminated masters that have done enough self-healing, enough self-nurturing, enough healing of others, and enough awareness of themselves to be prepared for first contact in the dream or in your heart. And as the esoteric practitioners get closer and closer to the 19th, there will be more communication To those that truly can hold the sacred neutral field, be a sacred neutral auditor of the environment around you, those that are doing ancestral clearings on their own land. For off-world beings to live in our space, in our place, they need clear ancestral spaces. They need stuff on the surface that assists them as off-world beings to be able to stay in this reality. That's why for the last 2,000 years, it has been very hard for them to live here, because the reality is very reflective to them. It pushes it away because they don't have the ancestral linkages as they did in the past. Process here. As you get closer to the 19th, and those that are beginning to get some form of communication, you must take your sacred discipline up to the next level. That is where the propaganda-based system or the media observations-based systems are going to try to confuse you. What is real communication? What is fake communication? This is where paranoia can turn in. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it real? Is it fake? This is where you use your most advanced forms of discernment. If you are one of those few that begins to be contacted, how will you truly know? How will you know the difference between an artificial intelligence and a real thing trying to communicate to you? Heart-spaced love. Intelligence cannot produce heart-spaced love. That's right. It is that simple. That's why self-healing, self-nurturing, self-illumination, and self-discipline at a sacred level is so vital at these great times of change. If you truly make yourself sacred neutral observer enough, moving forward, not creating charge and polarity in the next 40, 90 days, have an advanced form of spiritual contact, off-worlders, deep underworlders. The hollow earth is also going through a massive change that has nothing to do with the surface elections. They have their own inner earth, hollow earth issues that are beginning to erupt around them. There has been open warfare in the deep hollow earth in the Argarthan network. Tens of thousands of small cities to medium cities have been attacked, harvested for technological means, as well as a number of other variety of new formations of allegiances that weren't done before. There is a big shakeup in the hollow earth makeup. And that hollow earth makeup has 22,000 different breakaway civilizations. Contemplate that. Over 22,000 breakaway civilizations. Civilization is something that lived on the surface of our world, learned of fourth density, learned of high technology, and decided it didn't want to live on the surface anymore and went deep to the subsurface. It broke away from the surface civilization and became its very own civilization. Aztecs, Toltecs, Olmecs, Germanic, so on and so forth, whatever name you want to do, they broke away from their surface and created deep underground cities based in crystalline structures as well as off-world technology and had their own civilizations. Those civilizations deep under the earth are now fighting each other, both good and bad, neutral and negative, so on and so forth. The turmoil on this world right now is at its highest rate. Now, our astral worlds. Over the last few weeks, you maybe have heard me hint here and there that new astral cities have been opened. Well, they're actually very ancient astral cities that were shut down around 11 million years ago. Light was eliminated, and all that remained was an echo of the light. Well, new beings have immigrated here into our solar system, and they are now occupying these cities. They've reinitiated the light-based technology, and there's tens of billions of beings in newer type astral cities that do not have the same connection to the incarnation or reincarnation. Once Earth crosses the galactic central plane, those astral cities will begin mass immigration to the surface of this world. Whether they become dogs, cats, fish, doctors, lawyers, hollow earth people, astral beings, squid, whatever, there's going to be highly intelligent beings manifesting in every skin suit that's on the surface, subsurface, or astral skin suits. Billions of beings are going to go through a great change. We must be prepared in our own process to have limited telepathic communication to our animal friends, or our different medicine teachers, animal teachers, allied teachers, such as bear, such as wolf, so on and so forth. Take time to self-educate, self-illuminate, and self-procreate with this wisdom. It's vitally important during these times that self-illumination and sacred learning truly means something to you. This isn't just making a kerfuffle. This isn't just making announcements. Each and every year there's a solstice, and followed up by an election, there's always the dark process. This one is just going to be a little bit more amplified because they're doing something we haven't seen them do in many thousands of years. It's their proverbial ace up the sleeve. And this is the time where everyone can produce their own ace up the sleeve. Or, as I like to say, learn to cheat. Be aware that that dark ritual is going to try to affect every man, woman, and child above earth, below earth, in the astral worlds. Create your own little ceremony that says no, that throws a cog in the wheel. A person can make a difference when you begin putting true dreamtime power, instructing your dreaming body, your dreaming friends, to begin to make some sort of process that protects people from these rituals that are coming up. Now, I'm going to read you guys something that is about animal medicine, and it's about shedding your skin. One is about the skunk and the snake, and it is in the form of more of a Native American expression. Now, I wrote these in 2007 while I had gone to a sacred fire with the intention of bringing teachings to the future world. Okay? Think about this as you're listening to it. And we are going to provide it on the website so people who want to do it on their own will be able to have availability to use this for their own personal teaching, so they can thread this into their own contract revocations or invocations or their own personal teachings that they want to study or share. I call to the medicine spread of this moment. I am drawn by the warmth of eternal flame. Friend snake comes crawling close to your spirit fire, nesting in your spirit spark. Snake is the medicine totem of transmutation. Snake is the embodiment of pure fire medicine in its most primal form. Snake medicine asks you to know when it's time to shed your skin. Snake asks you to transmute the power of fire medicine for the use in your daily life. You were born with snake as your personal totem of power. The birth medicine has asked you repeatedly to accept the shedding of your old skin. Energy of the fire of creation. It embodies sexuality, psychic energy, and reproduction. Snake is one of the most hardest energies to understand, and yet it is very easy to handle once you understand the snake has no arms, has no legs, is a single frequency body. The dreamers of the southern skies reach out beyond the dream weave to bring their message of unity. We, the dreamers, dreaming this dream, shed a dreaming skin. We reach out to those who seek to travel the dream weave in search of healing. We recognize you in snake medicine. It calls you to transmute the poison medicine into eternal flame, for snake and fire are born under the same eternal flame. By accepting your life walk for what it is, accept it up to this exact moment, then understand this is for all of you, dreamers out there. Complete your understanding of male and female, for within each organism creates a melding of two into one, divine energy. Snake medicine teaches that you are an eternal being through accepting all aspects of your life. About the transmuting power of snakes shedding its skin. The fire medicine of snake on the physical plane creates passion sparks, desire, and procreation. On the emotional level, snake medicine brings creation, ambition, and resolution of dreams. On the mental level, it embodies leadership and charisma, as well as the transmuting force of permanent spirituality connected to your creative force within. Snake follows its nature. They cannot help to be what they are. Accepting snake in your daily life is no more than a change of consciousness, a change and a choice that allows it in. Flames of your energies, kindling pile. That's your sacred internal spiritual fire. The eternal flame will not destroy. It will transmute the ice mountains into water and steam. Continual spiritual locomotion that will drive you is of life. It will be your choice to see yourself in new eyes, with new features, new expressions. It will be your choice to accept the fire of creation. Creation as a gift to you, not something of the temporal moment of the now. The skunk speaks of attraction and repelling. His medicine present to you like the ego of man. Skunk is the totem of reputation. Skunk demands a wide berth, for he contains a great deal of power and instinctual. Skunk does not threaten your life force, senses. The key to understanding skunk is respect. Skunk will teach you by walking your talk and respecting yourself, you will create a great position of personal strength and reputation in the physical and the spiritual world. With skunk medicine as your current totem of teacher, it's vital to know how you carry your own body. It relates to what others' sense of yourself is intact. So others that observe you, is your sense of self intact? That is what they're looking for in skunk energy. The field of skunk medicine saturates your energy body in the form of self-esteem. We instantly recognize this on many levels of human perception when skunk energy is present. Skunk is to attract and repel. You have a natural ability to attract and repel others. The musk of a skunk you possess will attract those on the same path. It will repel those who do not respect your sacred space and those who do not recycle the gifts of life, who still hold on to love with strings and conditions attached. Those who are repelled will be assaulted by your skunk energy. They will quickly retreat as their senses become overwhelmed. Skunk can be used during these times coming up to the solstice and the future equinox to repel the negative harvesting energies from yourself. Skunk's personal message to you, tailored to each individual: your right to be you. Balance the cause and effect of your flows of energy. The decision to attract or repel envy, resentment, jealousy, or energy of smothering love. Your ego is what you believe it to be. If your ego is not your friend, then you know the smell of skunk. Skunk and snake have come to a truce right now that reaches back many generations of genetic and family lineages. This medicine truth confuses and confounds people on the mental plane. They're constantly running to and from you with drama and love. They touch your fire, then retreat to bring others your flame. Healer on the human social plane. Friends and family look to you for advice. They know you are wise beyond your years. They just can't tell you this. They realize their own fears. They've seen you overcome heartbreak and shattered dreams. They've seen you shoot ahead of the pack of lone wolves when they should love and embrace your energy of fire, skunk, and snake. They should not be threatened, their senses. Many of your red road brothers and sisters see you on an instinctual level. And skunk are too much for them to handle on the material plane. you as a spiritual measuring stick when they should embrace you as a healed healer. It is time for you to tell the inner flame of smoke scent and the eternal at work over the next moon cycles, over the next solstice, so you can see the different Dreamtime societies that are bringing you different teacher totems. The whirling rainbow awaits all creature kind in all combinations. If you should choose to honor every creed, every race, every religion, and personal spiritual practice, it becomes the self-expression of the sacred neutral point of view as their own given sacred space. Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandmother Moon, those with the wings, the creepy collars, the four-leggeds, and the fin ones of the endless oceans, ask you, are you ready to shed your skin? Are you truly ready to shed your skin of the old? Are you ready to shed the skin of 2016? A crappy year. A whole lot of nothing happened, and a whole lot of people were negatively affected this year. Are you ready to shed off 2016 and bring in your own version of time that doesn't define 2017 in any way, shape? This is your creation and no one else's creation. Are you ready to take it at that level? Contemplate, process, think. What is it that you want to create for the next year? What is it that you truly want to understand in the next year? What is it you truly want to embody the next year? There comes a time in each person's life where they must confront themselves in the great smoking mirror of self-reflection. Within these moments of self-reflection, we found our destiny and greatness is innate within. We must look directly in the windows of our own soul and ask the external observer from within, why have we lost ourselves to petty distractions? Why have we lost ourselves a way of natural living? At some point, we have all asked ourselves, why do we have to play the rat race Game of Thrones in a world of mediocrity and blandness, of independent thoughts? Have you asked yourself, who are the thought leaders? Who are the consciousness explorers? We should hold that those are the ones we should hold as role models for our 7 future generations. We, the individual, own the responsibility to our 7 future generations. What actions will you take to stop playing life at the mediocrity levels imprinted upon us by our cultural, economic, and esoteric practices? Stop accepting the scraps offered by the invisible masters, acting as puppeteers of governments, religions, or any belief system that does not give full acknowledgement in existence and equality to all sentient kind living on the world. When in the course of one's own consciousness evolution, it becomes necessary to ask these questions of how to dissolve belief systems and habit patterns that have limited us. How do I, the being of now, summon the inner strength and neutrality to ascend to another level of living, not based in this framework of domination and control, but based in human equality, not levels of inequality, not levels of knowledge and ignorance to spiritual truths and esoteric dogmas that admonish free thinking, not based in hierarchical order of wealth and power, not based in war or the creation of fear and impersonal tyranny. How do I declare the motives to impel myself to separate from the shared reality rules that determine domination or dominion? How do I define myself with the illuminated power of the I am self, fully sovereign with all frames of awareness? I am a being born of nature, interconnected with all natural beings. With this truth, I open myself up to Source incarnate. I must accept my path to remove those who stunt my growth, steal my life vitality and good nature. If you cannot step up to the plate to deny those who stunt your growth, steal your life vitality and good nature, how is it you're truly an awakened being? Those that steal our life force and good nature, they must learn how not to be a part of our signature frequency of being. We choose not to be a match to their soul frequency, exchanging energy with unsovereign beings entangled in a system of unnatural, unentangled observers co-creating with a system of technological domination meant to distract us from our personal power, from our personal nature. The artificial systems that were created by generations of generations from thousands of years of our written and oral history. It's now such a time that we separate what is our digital history from our written and oral history and understand it has been manipulated. When in the course of human consciousness evolution, it becomes a choice to charge unencumbered into the gates of greatness, stripped barren of domination, brought back to the natural way of living in union and communion with all free-thinking, sentient kind, living and coexisting in all of Earth's timelines and dimensions. We have been blissfully ignorant masters of our own fate for too long. We must relearn personal illumination, personal freedom, and sovereign actions of conscious application of the sacred. I can no longer be the silent auditor of others' fate, holding information that could drastically change or heal others if they just became a signature frequency match for self-illumination. I choose to speak in these moments of the now, to co-create with my ancient illuminated self that set down this path of self-discovery with Source millions of years ago. The illuminated masters of the past knew of our greatness to be. They set down roots as multidimensional, multifunctional, photonic beings of incarnated light, manifested into human DNA lineage, so the path to greatness would never be lost by those seekers of knowledge. Many of our species are lost in the abyss of unawareness. They regularly disregard the synchronicities in front of them, create false placebo synchronicities with the system subtly running their lives, habits, and apparent truths of accepted beliefs. Too many serve the system as silent auditors of universal fate. To be an I am presence means you will not fall victim to the tyranny of a system. When one chooses to lead the life path, is it the true action of transcendence. It will always be your choice to charge into polarity and contrast with the drive and vigor of a great thought leader or your own personal consciousness movement of one. This is the level of contrast control you must maintain as a multifunctional I am presence with seamless transition into and out of the mystical. This has been a very powerful broadcast with intention to assist people in understanding what is going on in our world. So as a quick recap, let go of the election. Be prepared to create your own contract revocations. The winter solstice is coming up here in the United States. Be prepared for it. Set up your sacred space ahead of time. Do the prayers wherever it is that you're going to do ahead of time. So when you do sit down that day, you are protected in here and all around. It is a choice to do that. A choice to do anything. A choice to not act. A choice to act. Act in the now. Choose that higher frequency. Choose to seek the greatness within. Choose to be the self-illuminated master who uses sacred discipline to learn about their own habit patterns. Sacred discipline when they self-heal and self-nurture. Because it is vital during the times of now that we prepared for contact in our heart, contact in our mind, and contact with our soul. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll catch you for the next members teaching. You all have a lot to ponder and a lot to prepare for.